God, but yeah. Right, yeah, so let's get things off and started with SCP-INTEGER, also known as 5242. I did look through this. It does seem to be fairly short, especially considering it's a pokey one. However, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a weird one because it's a pokey one. Mine does love to live too. I live you too, like no phone. Ha! Tits all day, every day. Yes! The worst thing's having in mind is true. Sometimes it's dick on the brain, not tits. Why not both? Yeah. I'm also going to open up the beer, because I feel I'm going to need it. See, Vesp says both as well. More proof that we're the same person. The world should fear the day Vesp and I actually meet in person. Okay, so Miscommunications Department notice. A semiohazard, informally, is a fact of the universe that just shouldn't be there, but functionally is. They are inherently abstract and affect the way we think and communicate about reality. Footnote of Intro to Semiontology by S.M. Katz, Esquire. A particularly costly example of one such fact is the operations of YWTGTSYT are perfectly legal. Perfectly legal links to SCP-4703, which currently requires the Foundation Legal Department to entirely redraft Texas corporate law. Footnote of bureaucratohazards are a subset of semiohazards affecting bureaucratic systems. Draw nipples on the balls here both. Oh my god, that's amazing. Occasionally the thoughts of arse. Well, tits and balls both kind of resemble arse, so yeah, there you are. It's laugh a minute ago. Said that while doing some reading, might fall asleep. No problem at all, Widgren. Lydia, no. It's not my I don't expect to have. Lydia, yes. Yes, Lydia. Such things as facts are based on reality. They always have been and always will be true, but they shouldn't, and we know they shouldn't. They aren't part of reality because reality says so, but because reality has been pulled inside out by the conceptual nature of semantic equivalence itself. Alas, there is nothing we can do but reframe our definition of baseline and move on. To purposely poke at the bugs in the simulation is to invite a crash. Read on, knowing that you must accept what the universe says is true, even if it doesn't make sense. 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. This sounds like this is just pokey. This SCP is just pokey. Puts Lydia in the horny box. Lydia is the horny box, and I visit for deposits very frequently. SCP-INTEGER. Containment class. Challenge. Disruption class. Influence. Risk class. Volatility. Maybe that's why Pokey chose it. Very true. Security measures. SCP-INTEGER must only be semantically identified using correct identifiers, including name, being, entity, and others. However, SCP-INTEGER is the suggested identifier due to others being either redundant or only conditionally correct. Knowledge of SCP-INTEGER and its properties should be restricted to only the necessary personnel for containment. Excuse me, including Dr. Placeholder and one member of the Department of Miscommunications, enforceable via amnesticization. However, extensions for research purposes may be permitted by Director Forkley on a case-by-case basis. Note that this file has been strictly organized such that non-abstract information concerning SCP-INTEGER and or SCP-INTEGER digit instances is not directly communicated via identifiers. For the sake of clarity, correct identifiers for SCP-INTEGER and SCP-INTEGER digit have been made distinct via blue and green colorations, respectively. Upgrades to this file, if any, are encouraged to remain consistent with these principles. Be pokey, threat level pokey. We have nipple tattoos at work. I can believe that. Containment measures pokey. Did Pokey send his autobiography to the SCPs out for proofreading? They send it into a proper story? I think so. I definitely think so. SCP-INTEGER digit instances that do not possess sapience are to be contained at Site 15. Access to such instances for research of semiontological anomalies, aka semiohazards, may be permitted to personnel possessing level 4 clearance or higher. With regards to scientist instances, SCP-INTEGER digit instances possessing sapience need not be contained, unless as a result of their properties or otherwise they inhibit the containment of SCP-INTEGER. Usually for the women had to have their tits removed. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it would be. Explanation. SCP-Integer is a hazard. Footnote. A semi-ontological anomaly, semiohazard, is a disruption of the semiosphere, the medium through which information about reality travels before it is perceived or measured, and which results in reality's apparent adherence to some non-real axiom. Complex that implies incorrect designations and classification of itself and instances of SCP-Integer digits in the event that SCP-Integer is incorrectly designated or classified through any form of semantic communication. Said identifier becomes abstracted. Just picking up my T. Now I need to look up a footnote. Abstraction, the generalization of a concept. By one Cooley. Footnote of the Cooley is a unit of measurement denoting one level of abstraction away from reality of a situation. The new abstracted identifier is retroactively incorporated into the construct as correct. Additionally, its respective medium of communication will become an instance of SCP-Integer digit. Footnote of lesson. Just says lesson. The consequences of SCP-Integer's effect are as follows. SCP-Integer has always been, and will always be identified using names that it has retroactively caused to be factually correct. And the use of any other identifier is considered incorrect. This is also true of SCP-Integer digit instances. Incorrect identification of the SCP-Integer from baseline perspective has never occurred, due to retroactive creation of objective fact. However, the state of this file indicates that it has been published with incorrect designations multiple times, and subsequently became an instance of SCP-Integer digit. Due to its tendency to make useful labels and categorizations redundant, SCP-Integer possesses significant nomenclative difficulties to Site-15 documentation and personnel. Due to its semantic nature, SCP-Integer shares similarities with memetic hazards, and a single incorrect designation could lead to the rapid propagation of SCP-Integer digit throughout Site-15 and its documents, crashing file systems, and potentially causing several other containment breaches by preventing effective communication. Other known correct identifiers by SCP-Integer include thing, construct, challenge, influence, volatility, hazard, hazard complex, restricted per protocol 4000 issue. Footnote, forbidden, when referring to narrative or pataphysical elements, issue, when referring to difficulty. Footnote, see addition integer letter. SCP-Integer digit is a designation for things, including both items and beings, that have served as a medium of communication for an incorrect designation of or classification of SCP-Integer. Upon becoming an instance of SCP-Integer digit, its identifiers are similarly abstracted by SCP-Integer. Incorrect identifications of SCP-Integer digit instances will be abstracted, but their respective media communication does not become further instances. The following is a list of known instances of SCP-Integer digit. We're going to go for quote 365. Pokey's status as a walking artillery battery cat is not to be discussed. This is very true. Correct identifiers. File. Access, when referring to protocol. Security measure. Explanation. Restriction. Erased. Addition. Inquiry. Non-identifying explanation contains electronic information concerning SCP-Integer. Page. Sheet. Contains physical information concerning SCP-Integer and is composed of cellulose pulp. Instrument. Footnote, it is unknown whether this identifier is considered an abstraction of the conventional identifier for instrument, or if it was semantically conflated with its homonym with the Woundward instrument. Contains auditory information concerning SCP-Integer used for inquiry. Display, shows electronic information and is connected to a computer. Scientist, researcher, inquisitor. Footnote, see addition integer letter. At the time of writing, 3 of these instances exist, either currently or previously employed at Site-15. Okay, so from little I understand, you can't use any terms to refer to this SCP to believe all this sort of shit happens pretty much. But so worthy. Dr. Placeholder McDoctorate PhD, Dr. PhD McPhD PhD, any combination of at least two components of the above names ordered left to right. Site 15 Director, instance is unique in that the only proper noun or title designations are corrected. Dr. Placeholder is legally unable to change this, as it is an objective fact that that is his name. Footnote, punishment. Imagine that, you go through some form of, PhD doctorate program, you end up being Dr. Placeholder, PhD. Or Dr. Placeholder McDoctorate, PhD. What the fuck? The Foundation became aware of SCP-Integer on 05/05/2002 when erased, footnote, a mortal spoke its true name. Oh. Resulting in Dr. Placeholder becoming the first known instance of SCP-Integer digit. After publishing the first draft of File, he attempted to discuss it with a scientist and discovered the SCP-Integer's pseudomimetic properties. Dr. Placeholder proceeded to use File to derive the mechanics of SCP-Integer's effect before developing more security measures. Addition, Integer letter, inquiry log. Inquisitor, scientist letter. Interviewed, Dr. Placeholder. Forward, attempted interview of Dr. Placeholder to ascertain the nature of SCP-Integer. Terminated due to scientist letter's lack of understanding concerning SCP-Integer's security measures. Note that the file used in this inquiry did not yet contain an explanation demonstrating accuracy. So it really is. Begin log. Inquisitor, Dr. Placeholder, this inquiry is being conducted exactly 15 minutes after you updated the security measures for SCP-Integer. We'd like to know exactly what the hell anything in that file means. Dr. PhD, this inquiry is going to look just as useless on File. I already had to tell scientists. You can't unprofessionalism erase. Talk about it specifically. And why is that, might I ask? What part of can't talk about it don't you understand? You have the page in front of you, right? I'm the Inquisitor asking the questions here. Erased. Fine. You see that list of terms? We can only talk about SCP-Integer using those terms. The Inquisitor examines the file. Okay, so how do you become aware of the hazard? All I can tell you is that I found, a painful groan said, I said something that I shouldn't have said. That should never be said. Ever. Unhelpful, but duly noted. Could you attempt to somehow convey what SCP-Integer does with a little more clarity? Try your best. If you use any other word than what's on that list, it will take some general category that the word is in and add the word for that category to the list. Go on, and it'll do the same to you, and give you your own personal list, so I suggest you stick to the security measures. I'm not sure I understand. So what if this thing attaches a list to me? Be erased, careful. Haven't you had a briefing on semiohazards? It's not just a list of words, it's a list of facts. There's no way around them, there's no way of undoing them. Your lucky thing is on the list, or we'd be stuck calling you researcher for the rest of time, and from the beginning of time. Ah, well, that is quite the issue, isn't it? Footnote, mistake. Yeah, no kidding. A strong breeze moves through the room. Wait, the erased list, erased list. I didn't write that! Wait, what? But issue is a correct identifier for SCP-Integer. A pause followed by his exasperated sigh. I've really tried, Inquisitor. Wait, something doesn't feel right. Why am I Inquisitor? Whatever you actually just said wasn't the correct identifier until you misidentified it. I've had to call you Scientist Letter for years now. I finally know why. Wait, but that shouldn't be my name. What the erase is going on? End log. Closing statement. Evidence would suggest that Scientist Letter's status as an SCP-Integer digit instance was retroactively caused by negligence of security measures during the above inquiry. Scientist Letter's subsequent amnestation request granted, despite minimal predictive effectiveness. Notice, a semiohazard error has occurred while viewing this file. The following parable may not correspond to objective reality. Clicky. Lesson. If 2 1s make 2 and 2 2s make 4, what's to do when 2 2s won't make 4 anymore? When values in base 10 return sums in base 8, that 2 4s make 10 is the sum of all hate. If A equals B and C is not A, to hear that B is C leaves one wrought with dismay. When the enemy of an enemy is the enemy of one's friend, and hope of any clarity yields chaos in the end. Such is a punishment for those who wander too far from the path of the forest without name, and seek knowledge that is best left unknown. For your crimes of naming that which ought not be named, you must accept that reality doesn't always make sense. Logician. Yeah. So warp shenanigans. And then it gives a link to SCP-6416. So there you go. That was SCP-Integer. My brain hurts. My brain fucking hurts after that one. Which, you know, is the appropriate response to anything Pokey has submitted. You know, as far as Pokey's SCP go, I think it's somewhat understandable if quite a headache. Yeah. As far as short Pokey SCPs goes, that was the most understandable. But still, I think my brain might have fell out of my ear. 978. And the next one is going to be 914. We've only got one semi-recent one in this list today. That's fair. Okay, so 978. I keep seeing flickering up in my stream elements list, and there's nothing actually happening there. It's weird. Item number SCP-978. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. 978 is to be kept in security locker HJ12 at Site 17, and only to be removed or handled by personnel with level 2 security clearance or higher. Testing parties may request extra film and printing paper at their leisure. 978 is not to be used for blackmail, entertainment, or personal reasons. This means you from 05 redacted. That's quite nice, that. Thank you, Emward, for your contribution to the Drunk Stream Challenge. All photographs produced by 978 are to be catalogued along with the full testing description. Requests to destroy photographs may be processed by level 4 security clearance or higher personnel at the discretion of the testing party. Description. 978 appears to be a standard red and black Polaroid Supercolor 645CL instant camera with no distinctive identifying marks or damage. 978 operates the same as a standard camera and shows no anomalous behavior beyond the photographs it produces. When a subject is pictured with 978, the photograph that develops shows not what the subject was doing at the time of the photo, but rather what the subject wanted to be doing. This means you won't think that's directed at Bright, most likely. This effect appears to be, for the most part, random, sometimes showing drastic changes in deeply suppressed desires, or simple changes and alterations to the subject or their surroundings. 978 appears to be capable of expressing the desires of both humans and other creatures, see testing log, and appears to convey the simplest desires the easiest. Should two subjects with contrasting desires both be photographed together, the subject's desire appear to mix, see testing log for additional information. Addendum. Subjects are allowed to request photographs of themselves. Remember, people, just because some of the photos show distasteful things doesn't mean that you're going to do them. Dr. Redacted. Testing log. Log format goes subject, photographed activity, photo result. Testing. 05 redacted. Simple study of basic research item. Subject. Research assistant James redacted. Photographed activity. Smiling for the camera. Neutral pose. Photo result. Subject is shown looking much more tired and unprofessional, drinking from a flask. I would rather be getting stone-faced drunk than be working for SCP. Subject, research assistant, redacted. Photographed activity, smile for the camera, neutral pose. Photo result, subject is shown in casual clothes as if heading out for the night. Subject admits that she wishes to go home. Aww. Like, I just want to go home. Subject, research assistant, redacted. Photographed activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose. Photo result, data expunged. Research assistant is placed on temporary psychiatric leave. Oh. Subject, doctors redacted. Photographed activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose. Photo result, subject is shown wearing a different tie. You know that you're boring and predictable when your only desire is, I wish I'd worn a different tie. Subject, doctor redacted. Photographed activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose. Photo result, data expunged. Dr. Redacted expresses extreme embarrassment and apologies for this. Well, the first round test wasn't so bad, except for those two, so let's try this thing on some Class D and some other personnel, see if we can't get some more unusual results. Be right back, Kira's getting on the bus soon, no problem at all, Torium. Testing 05 redacted. Testing to see effects of SCP-978 on non-humans. Subject, several standard white lab mice. Photographed activity, all mice are in plain glass tanks for photographing. Photo result, all mice pictured as eating, mating, or both. Oh heck yeah, the loo result. I know, right? Vesper's right on there as well. You know, that'd be if you pointed it at me. Never, ever, ever point this thing at a monster fucker. Never. You're not going to like what you see. Did anyone say a horrid necktie? Oh god, if I could very quickly do so, I would get up the clip that was taken of that moment in Disco Elysium. Has mine qualified an SCP on its own? Yes. So I have to go. Have a class leaving. Congrats again. Call me sometime soon. Yeah, no problem at all, Mob. Thanks for coming in as long as you did, and I'll see you soon. You're going to like what you see, or you will. Subject, single zebra finch, standard lab animal. Photographed activity, sitting in a cage, observing photographer. Photo result, an open cage with a zebra finch flying off the edge of the photo, only a wing and part of the tail visible. Subject, standard white lab rabbit. Photograph activity, sitting in plain glass tank for photographing. Photo result, subject is pictured mating with another rabbit. We're talking now, getting a haircut. No problem. Of course the bird would do that. Yeah. Ying. Subject, kitten, stray lab animal. Photograph activity, being held for a picture by Dr. Redacted. Photo results, data expunged. I would never do that to a kitten. Dr. Redacted. Oh, that's awful. That is so awful. Subject, guard dog, Doberman mix, and handler. Photograph activity, guard dog and handler both posing strictly for photograph. Photo result, subject a picture playing a game of fetch. Aww. That's adorable. Kipper, you can be like the subjects of that doctor. Get fucked, Kipper. Yeet! Land all the way in the laundry room. It's just... It's complete. Due to the fact that we've got 7 SCPs, including this in the ranking, I'm going to pause the SCP redemptions just for now. If I get to the end of these and we've still got time left, I'll unpause them for more submissions. Subject, multiple testing cockroaches. Photograph activity, cockroaches placed in glass tank for photograph. Photo result, no change. Subject, small spider. Ugh. Photograph activity, clinging to the ceiling. Dr. Redacted admits that the picture was taken as a last-minute thought when she walked past the spider on her way to SCP-978's containment locker. Photo result, a massive hallway-encompassing web with a small spider in it. And I can imagine if that spider had an expression, it would be :3. Well, at least we know it works on animals. Dr. Redacted. For more information on 978, please see the extended testing logs. Oh no. Oh my good god, I am not going through all of these. This is huge. I encourage other people to go and read the 978 extended test logs. Because undoubtedly they're probably going to be kind of funny. Longness is long, yes. That is exactly it, Thyrus, yes. Longness is long. I don't know about long. I don't know about long, but I'm longing for you. Right. And the next one. Accepting that. That is going to be going on to this now. Precisely, Vesp. Next one's going to be 503. It's not as long as 914's logs. I'm not going through all of 914's logs. I'm just not. Not if I'm going to hope to actually finish this decade. That is what it's... And generally, when Vest sees me, it's not. She says pretty much the same thing, just not using the word list. Item number SCP-914. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. Only personnel who submit a formal request and receive approval from Site Command may operate 914. 914 is to be kept in Research Cell 109-B with 2 guard personnel on duty at all times. Any researchers entering 109-B are to be accompanied by at least 1 guard for the entirety of testing. A full list of tests to be carried out must be given to all guard personnel on duty. Any deviation from this list will result in termination of testing, forcible removal of personnel from 109-B, and formal discipline at Site Command's discretion. Warning, at this time, no testing of biological matter is allowed. Refer to document 109-B, colon 117. Applying the rough setting to the explosive materials is not advised. Description. 914 is a large clockwork device weighing several tons and covering an area of 18 square meters, consisting of screwdrivers, belts, pulleys, gears, springs, and other clockwork. It is incredibly complex, consisting of over 8 million moving parts comprised mostly of tin and copper, with some wooden and cloth items observed. Observation and probing have shown no electronic assembles or any form of power other than the mainspring under the selection panel. 2 large booths, 3 meters... 3 meters squared by 1 meter squared. 3 meters by 2.1 meters by 2.1 meters, which is 10 foot by 7 foot by 7 foot, are connected via copper tubes to the main body of SCP-914, labeled intake and output. Between them is a copper panel with a large knob with a small arrow attached. The words rough, coarse, 1-to-1, fine, and very fine are positioned at points around the knob. Below the knob is the large key that winds the mainspring. When an object is placed in the intake booth, a door slides shut, a small bell sounds. If the knob is turned to any position and the key wound up, 914 will refine the object in the booth. No energy is lost in the process, and the object appears to be in stasis until the output booth door is opened. Intense observation and testing has not shown how 914 accomplishes this, and no test object has ever been observed inside 914 during the refining process. The process takes between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on the size of the object being refined. Addendum 514 Dr. Blank Test Log. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting rough. Output pile of steel chunks of various sizes appearing to be cut by laser. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting 1-to-1. Output 1 kilogram of steel screws. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting fine. Output 1 kilogram of steel carpet tacks. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting very fine. Output several gases that dissipated into the air quickly, and 1 gram of an unknown metal, resistant to heat of 50,000 degrees, impossible to bend or break with any force, and near perfect conductor of electricity. That one falls a lot around the stuff. Oh yeah. Input 1 wristwatch belonging to Dr. Blank, setting course. Output 1 completely disassembled wristwatch. Output 1 cell phone belonging to Blank, setting 1-to-1. Output 1 cell phone, although different make and model. Input 1 standard Colt Python revolver, setting very fine. Output data expunged. Aforementioned Blank completely disintegrated all matter in its line of fire. Object contained with high density gamma waves. Oh! It created pretty much a railgun. You think poking out a hand, that's probably. Input 1 white mouse, setting 1-to-1. Output 1 brown mouse. Input 1 chimp, setting fine. Output data expunged. Input 1 chimp, setting rough. Output badly mutilated corpse, showing signs of crushing and cutting with high heat. If that wasn't expunged, I'm shuddered to think what the fine one was when it was completely expunged. This is very random, yeah. And thank you, E, for your contribution to the Drunk Stream Challenge. A better human, maybe. Or a worse human. Oh my god, that's how we got Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. God damn it, SCP. Document number 109/B colon 117. Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank testing log. Input: subject D186, male, Caucasian, 42 years old, 108 kilograms, 185 centimeters tall, setting 1 to 1. Output: male, Hispanic, 42 years old, 100 kilograms, 188 centimeters tall. Subject was very confused and agitated. Subject attacked security personnel. Subject terminated. Input: subject D187, male, Caucasian, 28 years old, 63 kilograms, 173 centimeters tall, setting very fine. Output: data expunged. Subject escaped from test chamber, killing 8 guards as well as Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank. Lockdown initiated. Subject caused containment failure of 3 SCP areas in continued escape attempt. Special response team engaged subject, resulting in severe wounding of subject, partial memory loss in special response team members, and corrosive damage to plumbing. Subject expires several hours later, dissolving to blue ash and blinding nearby research team. Biological testing with SCP-914 discontinued. Note: because of the nature of this SCP, a wide range of test data would be helpful. Dr. Gears has ordered that any researcher can have access for non-biological testing if they themselves are supervised by a level 3 researcher. All testing is to be recorded in file 941-E, the experiment log, which is linked to. Biological testing will continue only with prior clearance by O5 command. As long as you want to try something mundane that isn't alive, feel free to help accumulate data. Dr. Blank. I'm not going to look at the experiment log. Well, I'm not going to read the experiment log. Because it's kind of huge. If the next one is mine, you missed the 4th end. No, I didn't, Lydia. It's like, I thought that first because Jack submitted 503 and then you submitted 5043. So just look at it from time to time. There are some very fun ones. I probably will do. I know there might be an SCP thing where I just do the experiment log. You know, similar how I did. Oh God, that went a bit up my nose. Similar to how I did, you know, the list of things Dr. Bryce is not allowed to do. Thank you for the hydration reminder, Vess. I was just about to grab one myself, but... Right, now, SCP-503 we're going on to. Let's just change the guidelines, properties, 503, and next is just pop that in, 5043. That's an easy change. Okay. Good. Item number SCP-503. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. 503 is to be kept with a secure holding cell at all times. No fewer than 4 security cameras must be positioned within the cell. 503 must be under constant observation. Any strange movements or attempts to obscure the view of cameras must be treated as a full-scale emergency. Any researcher studying 503 must be searched for dangerous objects before entering its cell. The cell must be searched daily for any potentially dangerous objects. Note on procedures. The searches are not optional. I don't care if you think they're a waste of time. I refer anyone who thinks otherwise to Incident Report 503-B. Dr. Blank. Description. 503 is a Caucasian male, 63 years of age. The subject is bald, formerly black hair, with brown eyes. The subject's lower jaw is a prosthesis as a result of Incident 503-A. There's a large scar on the subject's chest as a result of test log 503-5. 503 demonstrates a remarkable proclivity towards short-term good fortune and long-term misfortune. This was first apparent at age 11 when the subject was involved in an automobile accident with its family. While the subject survived, its parents as well as 2 siblings died. In addition, the subject was trapped within the car for blank days before rescue. Or just redeem the experimental logs in a separate thing. That's also possible. The subject had 3 marriages, the first ending in divorce, the second ending when the subject's wife was killed in an automobile accident, the third ending when the subject's wife committed suicide. During this time, the subject has had 10 children, none of whom currently live. As far as the subject is aware, it has no living family. The subject has survived falling from a 34-story window, a plane crash in the North Atlantic, 2 additional automobile accidents, and the destruction of the World Trade Center on 9/11. It survived suicide attempts by hanging, overdose, self-immolation, and firearm. See incident 503-A. Although the subject has won the lottery on 2 separate occasions, by the time the Foundation took custody of it, medical bills had left it in heavy debt. 503 is currently being studied by Dr. Blank to determine if the subject's properties can be reverse engineered to increase survival chance of field agents. Incident report 503-A. 6 days before 503 came onto Foundation custody, it attempted suicide via shotgun. As it held the shotgun along its torso, firing up through the jaw somehow absorbed most of the blast, destroying the jaw and causing massive cranial trauma. A neighbour who heard the blast found the subject and took it to the hospital, where it was discovered and retrieved by Foundation agents who had been monitoring the hospital for a possible outbreak of SCP blank. Incident report 503-B. During experiments recorded in test log 503-redacted, research assistant B redacted was not searched by security prior to entering the subject's cell. During the experiment, B left behind a ballpoint pen with which 503 attempted to kill itself 31 minutes after the end of the experiment. Although it survived, it was left in critical condition for 6 days. Research assistant B has been disciplined and reassigned. Test log 503-1. Test. Card-based guessing game. Result. 100% success rate. Test log 503-2. Test. Game of roulette. Result. 100% success rate. Test log 503-3. Test. Game of poker. Result. Won every hand until last, at which point subject went all in, wagered all winnings, and lost the game. Note. Okay, we've established he's good at games. That's not why we're interested in him. We need to go bigger. Dr. Blank. Test log 503-4. Test. Firearm aimed at head, point blank range. Result. 60 consecutive misfires with 17 different weapons. Later laboratory testing determined that the weapons failed due to variously jams caused by debris, malfunctioning parts, or total mechanical failure. Of particular note, the final weapon used, a revolver, a type of weapon renowned for its reliability, which jammed due to a slight mechanical defect that could only be replicated after 254 test shots in the laboratory, and since then has yet to be replicated a second time. Despite blank additional firings, during test 503-4, the revolver failed to fire 8 consecutive times. Jesus. Test log 503-5. Test. Russian roulette with 1 empty chamber aimed at subject's chest. Result. Severe trauma to chest. Bullet passed through center of heart, piercing no chambers. Rib broken. Subject survives. Note. Dr. Blank has been disciplined and reassigned. Dr. Blank will carry out further testing. 05 blank. See test reports 503 blank blank for additional tests. There's nothing else to click on there. What a shitter. Would not want to be that person at all. Okay, next we are going on to the best protogens suggestion. Next up is going to be 344. Oh no. Oh no, the next one's going to be one from Nia. You had the unluckiest man, and you had the luckiest man, as people said. Yeah. Okay, so that is going to be Series 6. 5043. The description of this on the page looks like something that Lydia says when I fluster her. Okay, so level 2/5043, item number 504, SCP-5043, object class safe, classified. Special containment procedures. All available supplies of 5043 are kept in a climate-controlled storage area at Site 120. Testing of 5043 requires Level 4 authorization and is to be conducted at a blast-proof testing chamber or an approved Foundation bomb range. Description. 5043 refers to a bottle of anomalous pharmaceutical tablets and various other small objects labelled as dados, which is a... Footnote, a person of interest practicing parapharmacology believed to be responsible for the creation of 5043 due to association. Brain explosion, not regressive, that do make your brains have a blowsplosion. Setting context. 5043 is packaged in a mundane plastic vitamin bottle, which has been taped over with a crudely drawn label. 3 seconds after consuming 5043, the subject's head will explode at a force comparable to 1 kilogram of TNT. Well, it's really... So if this is what happens when Lydia blows head, I'm in still. I'm up for it. Once this has occurred, the resultant viscera will display minor attraction towards the subject's torso, accelerating towards it at 0.03 millimeters per second. If not restrained, the subject's viscera will eventually group together at the exposed neck and reform into a living, fully functioning head. The memories and personalities of the subject remain largely intact. Sounds like a real brain buster. Yep. I'm a petrol. I got my head removed before. Subjects undergoing the effects of 5043 have reported varied experiences. Of the 20 individuals tested so far, 7 have reported total unconsciousness, 5 have reported their sensory input and cognitive functions to be reduced commensurate to that of REM sleep. 4 have reported the experience to be exhilarating, some having likened it to usage of narcotics. The remaining 4 have reported 5043's effects as painful, confusing, and or frightening. 5043 contains a secondary infohazardous anomaly. Subjects attempting to speak the words Dado's brain explosion, or a variety thereof, will momentarily trail off into nonsensical babble. This effect will only occur when used in reference to 5043. 5043 was discovered on March 10th, 2020, when it was delivered unnoticed to a Foundation front company in New York City. 5043 was brought to Site 120 for testing and storage. Addendum 5043-1, Packaging of 5043. While the packaging of 5043 is in itself non-anomalous, it was brought under scrutiny in an attempt to gauge more information about the individual known as Dado. The following points of interest were considered particularly noteworthy. In addition to pharmaceutical tablets, the packaging also contained various vitamin tablets, candies, nonpareils, uncooked rice, allspice, and paper clips, all displaying identical anomalous properties. 5043's bottle was originally for non-anomalous vitamin D supplements. The bottle label is affixed with consumer-grade masking tape. The label's product information is written with a pencil. On the backside is a crudely drawn insignia resembling an FDA approval stamp made with a red crayon. The label itself was originally a receipt for toast, lactose-free milk, chicken nuggets, margarine, grapes, hamster feed, and 2 packets of AA batteries bought at Walmart. Macroplaza in Baja California, Mexico, on 11/12/2019. No problem, enjoy your lurk. The adverse side of the label contains the phrases Dado's mind wipe, mental breakdown by Dado, Dado's mental breakdown, and Dado's brain explosion, written with a pen. Attached to 5043 was also a slightly crumpled letter purportedly written by Dado stating that 5043 is a test back. As in BACH, that is said in context. It also contains a lengthy, sporadic, and lightly exaggerated account of running a failing business, financial problems, political persecution, and mental instability, eventually trailing off into non-sequitur descriptions of various currently airing TV shows. Due to extremely low legibility, the contents of said letter have not been transcribed. Neither 5043 nor any recovered supplementary material contain fingerprints or DNA. The other one I had in mind is interesting, but also involves a puppets beating the shit out of each other. So yeah, I don't see any issue with that. I don't see any issue with puppets beating the shit out of each other, because could be, I don't know. Welcome back, Torian. Oh, Lydia. That's the end of the SCP. Lydia, important thing, very important. Sent to me via DM. Go for it. So. You have to do this, what? When I was playing and streaming Detroit Become Human, Callie told me that one of her colleagues is called Connor. And he pretty much is exactly like Connor, as in exceptionally lovely, best boy sort of person. Does not look a thing like Connor, but is very much, like Connor personality-wise. This colleague's name is Connor. I met him today. And yes, can confirm, is a bean. Is very lovely. Is Connor, just doesn't look like Connor. You know a Connor at work. Are they anything like Best Bean Boy? It's done, nextly. He is. Oh, that's even better. Okay, so we're going for SCP-344 next. Very sweet. Good. Good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, this is Nia's one. Oh good god, no. Schrodinger's can opener. What the fuck have you done to me, Nia? What the fuck? Next is 570. Sips tea maliciously. I'm going to need a beer for this one. That's why I have no tea to sip. Ha! I work with his wife. I do giggle though because she once rolled over in bed and broke 2 of his fingers. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. Brain, why? It's kind of can't be good. It's one from Nia, so it's gonna be weird. So, item number SCP-344. Wonder where you had them. That's exactly what I was thinking, Widgren. His wife may have been next to you, so a woman. Precisely what I was thinking. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. 344 is to be stored in site redacted, in a high security storage locker, combination changed weekly. Personnel wishing to use 344 for research purposes should contact Dr. Redacted. Due to the hazard presented when a can is opened, it is recommended that a remote control device be used to manipulate the object. What? I mean, 3 fingers in and a sneeze or else and a broken finger. Rookie numbers. Excuse me. This is a positive one. Imagine one with depressive AI that turns something into a can't opener. That's just Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm a can't opener. Description. 344 is a redacted brand manual can opener manufactured sometime before 19 redacted. When an attempt is made to use 344 to open a tin of canned food, there is a probability that as soon as the top of the can is fully opened, the food inside will be replaced with live versions of whatever the can originally contained. The amount of live material released is equal to how many separate individuals of that given species were required to produce the contents of the can, provided the weight of an individual's remain is above 0 redacted milligrams. For example, if a can of tuna has the remains of 50 tuna in it, then 50 live tuna will come out of the can. Compressing items like this in a small space causes significant pressure, resulting in the objects being propelled out with some force, potentially causing injury to anyone within the area of effect. Live organisms in a can that is opened by 344 undergo no observable changes. I'm sorry, that just says to me, haha, tuna cannon! Boom! Despite the theoretical probability of the effect's manifestation being approximately 50%, recorded Foundation tests show a probability closer to 30 redacted for sentient organisms, 10 redacted for non-sentient plant materials, and entirely redacted involving redacted. The cheat code for food fights. Wow. It is also unknown where the live material comes from, as spontaneous regeneration would result in a violation of the law of conservation of mass and energy. It seems most likely that the material is either teleported to the can from existing stocks on Earth or redacted. Given experiments in log and redacted seems more likely. Ground beef mine, Jesus. Boom, suddenly cow. All I can think of is the beanstorm in Shadows Over Loathing, which is a literal storm of beans. Yeah, I can believe that. That's exactly what this is. Beanstorm. Beans. Pet Lydia's beans. Beep, beep. Food boy. After approximately 34 hours, all sentient organisms released from the can will undergo data expunged. All sentient organisms should be terminated before this occurs. This does not apply to non-sentient plant materials. Beans. Yes, those beans. Pet the beans. It's a terribly funny movie. I don't think I've actually seen it or heard of it. I heard of Waterboy, but that's Adam Sandler, and I've only ever seen one Adam Sandler film that I actually laughed at. Swishes space beans. The item was brought to the attention of Foundation personnel on February the 1st, 19 redacted. Via a news report, a bizarre event in a small redacted town, Sergeant Michael Redacted had arrived home after participating in Redacted. His mother reported that he expressed a desire to eat some canned beef, which he acquired, and he produced a can opener from his pocket, saying he had acquired it as spoils of war, and proceeded to use it to open up the can. Upon fully opening it, a redacted kilogram heifer crushed him to death. Agent Redacted, who had been investigating a separate incident at the time, immediately responded. Upon arriving at the scene and conducting interviews, he soon came to the conclusion that the can opener was responsible and confiscated it, replacing it with a facsimile. The original has been at site redacted ever since, with the exception of a single data expunged. Web news for you. Only film like the Sandwich in Hotel Transylvania. Have you seen Little Nicky? If you haven't seen Little Nicky, I would very much recommend it. It is good. Check your space time. I've seen that. I encourage it. A, you can barely tell it's Adam Sandler. B, it's actually fucking hilarious. It's even got Ozzy Osbourne in it. Granted, they dub over his voice because Americans can't understand Ozzy Osbourne. But still, it's got Ozzy in it. Believe me, it is good. I don't like Adam Sandler movies at all. Little Nicky, I loved. Sharon! Where shall I put the gun? Shall I put it under the bed? You put it where you like, Ozzy. I'll put it under the bed. Ah. The heifer that was released eventually underwent data expunge. The event and its subsequent cleanup was covered up as a redacted missile strike. Missile strike? What the fuck did these things turn into? To play the LP backwards scene is great. It is. So cute. It was a drink or drugs that almost killed Ozzy, but plot hole. Yeah. I love the fact that like the story, like one of Ozzy's band members, I think it might have been Tony or Tommy. I can't remember if it's Tommy or Tony. Ione was telling the story of when what actually happened with the bat incident. Nazis leaving the potholes. I know, right? Basically, someone threw a live bat on stage, and Ozzy thought it was a plastic bat, so he thought for a bit he's going to pick up and bite its head off. Because it's Ozzy. He put the bat in his mouth and was about to do that when the bat, woke up, bit his tongue. And so, pulled away, got rid of the bat. They then obviously stopped the show and took him to hospital. And when the nurse came along and said, "Oh, Mr. Osborne, what are you in here for?" And he just goes, "I've got rabies, woof woof." And then he goes, "And so the next hospital we went to," stabbed in the arse with needles. 111, fuck yeah, that's just Aussie. The thing is, everyone says about the time he bit the head off the bat. No, the truth is actually funnier. So, imagine in a hospital waiting room, a nurse comes over. "What are you in here for?" "I've got rabies, woof." So something out of Jackass, yeah. Sounds like him. Yeah. It really does. Alright. Neo goes to a random quote and gets "big old meaty tail." Yes, I have one. As Lydia and Vespa are well aware. You recommend his biography, "I'm Aussie." Finished it. Oh god, I've got to read that, yeah. "My sword's in his dick." That sounds like it was Dark Souls. Honestly, that sounds like it was Dark Souls, or a Souls game of some description. Addendum. On July Redacted, 19 Redacted, Dr. Redacted attempted to open a can of pork inside Redacted's break room. Excuse me. Unwittingly using SCP-344. The can's abilities manifested, and Dr. Redacted was killed instantly by crushing. While an investigation was launched, it was never determined who placed 344 in the break room. To prevent further practical joking, 344 was moved from low security lockers to mid-security ones, and its password changed weekly instead of monthly. What quote I'll get: "Pull out now. I refuse." Lydia and Vess have never asked me to pull out. 3 hours until small kids home. Should nap again, maybe. Entirely fair. Test log. SCP-344 partial. There's only a few. Test 344-T5. Item: can of redacted tuna meat. Result: 67 tuna and 1 dolphin, despite can being labelled dolphin free, flew out of the can at recorded speed of redacted kilometers per hour, severely injuring subject D2856, who opened the can. All the animals that came out of the can were incinerated, save for 1 tuna that was placed in a secure cold storage. This did not prevent data expunged. We go to a random code too. "Well, there are 4 of us, so I'll come last." That was most like a team bondage one. Yeah, that's not the case with my boyfriend. Test SCP-344-T6. Item: can contain around about 200 nanogram sample of pig skin cells. Result: after redacted attempts, test was abandoned. SCP-344-T8. Item: can of redacted beans. Result: it took redacted tries before a positive result was achieved, suggesting that the can open's abilities do not manifest as readily with plants. Surprisingly, instead of shooting out caliber 900 pre-cooked beans as the researcher expected, they instead shot out 324 separate bean plants, causing minor damage to the containment area and burying the D-class directed to open the can. All but 1 bean plant were burned. The remaining plant did not data expunge as expected. Conjecture: the fact that there were not 914 separate bean plants suggests that 344 attempts to put beans that were on the same plant back together. 344-T9. Can of redacted cherries. Result: as with 344-T8, it took several more tries than statistically predicted before 344's abilities manifested. Once they did, however, redacted cherry trees exploded out of the can, killing subject D8234 instantly and making recovery of his remains difficult. Due to lessons learned from 344-T8, the test was performed outdoors, preventing damage to site redacted. Although recovery of the escaped plants took some effort, 344 was slightly damaged by the event, having one of its handles bent out of shape, which was later repaired. The cherry trees did not undergo data expunged. Given its destructive potential when summoning plant matter, 344 is to be moved to high security lockers. Dr. Blank. Oh no, trees. That's a huge amount of wood that most people don't want. Test 344-T12. Item, can of human remains. Result, data expunged. Okay. 344-T5. Oh, sorry, T15. Item, can of harvested meat from a still living Berkshire boar. Description. The boar was placed under surveillance in a room 3 kilometers from the test chamber. The meat harvested from the boar was ground up and placed in a can, which was then placed in the test chamber. Robotic manipulators were used for the test. Result. After several attempts, 344's ability manifested. The boar disappeared from its room in a burst of emissions from across the electromagnetic spectrum, but not in amounts lethal to humans. At the same time in the test chamber, the boar was seen to launch out of the can, slamming into a far wall. The damage done by the harvesting process was observed to have been completely repaired. Class D personnel were sent into the room to contain the boar, which was mostly unharmed despite its collision with the wall. As soon as they entered the room, the boar became extremely aggressive, culminating in manifesting data redacted. Note, further testing with still living creatures is discouraged unless under heavy containment and neutralization procedures. Bet they got a zombie. Most likely zombie time. What the fuck, Nia? I was expecting something silly, weird, light-hearted, not horrific and reality-breaking. And now we go to Nia's other one, 570. And in fairness, we're near the halfway point. I'm going to unpause the redemptions so people can redeem SCPs again. Okay, so guidelines, we're going on to 570. The next one is going to be 312. The occult soda war? What? This is getting harder, okay? You think scaring the greatest SCPs to the great funny haha is easy? It's an incredibly demanding process. I mean, to be fair, Nia, like, if it was all funnies, it'd be expected. But when you come up with, the really weird ones and the out of left field ones, it really throws you for a loop. What now? That was pretty much my reaction. The occult soda war. This is another of Nia's. Item number SCP-570. Object class Archon. What the fuck is this doing with an Archon? Special containment procedures. In the event that the components of 570 unexpectedly fail, Foundation assets are to coordinate a recall of all Coca-Cola and PepsiCo branded beverages. Additionally, Foundation agents embedded in PepsiCo's Department of Esoteric Affluence or the Coca-Cola Company Department of Consumer Satisfaction are to periodically report any initiatives undertaken by their respective departments. What the fuck? Well, it says I'll give you existential dread to really throw you off. Yeah, I'm waiting for that day. Okay, 780 has not been done before, so that's going to be added to the list. Description. 570 is the collective designation for the densest concentration of thaumaturgical residue currently known to the Foundation. 570 is theorized to have formed at some point around 1999, although its origins can be traced back to 1975 at the earliest. It is currently believed that 570 is the result of an unsustainable number of rituals conducted by the Coca-Cola Company and PepsiCo over a span of a decade. Current noospheric models infer that SCP-570 has coalesced in such a way that total extraction of the anomaly from the noosphere would result in the conceptual annihilation of a concept of soft drinks. Due to both company status as members of the Global Occult Coalition's Council of 108, this course of action has been deemed unfavourable. Oh, excuse me. Who found this SCP entry and got 2257 in results? Didn't look at it, wonder if it'll be any good. Not read that. Oh, God. The puppet one might be a bit long. Ah. Entirely fair. Brain. Immediately went to, you know, I'm pretty sure you know it was immediately went to. And then, surprisingly, jumped to, you know, I'm pretty sure Chin is going to be dealing with something else that's a bit long. Brain. Get some. I have no idea what SCP this would be, but it hasn't been a 48 read. Yes, and if it exists, I want to know my favorite number. 48 does exist. Pretty much every number, all the way up to 7,999 exists. Pretty much, and there's also jokes. Okay, let's boost SCP-048. Cool, that's not read before. You see now? No problem at all, Vesper. Thanks for coming. There. Thanks for coming for as much as you did, and I will. Thanks. What the fuck? That should be as long as you did, not for coming as much as you did. That happens afterwards. Yeah. Thank you for coming in as long as you did, and I will see you next time. Hope you sleep well. What the fuck? Oh. There we are. Thank you. You both did it. You both did it at pretty much the same time. What the fuck? Oh god, my mods share my lewd brain cell. Oh, that's the message from you, Lydia. Addendum 507-1. 507 Extra Normal Events Log. The following list of notable incidents is directly responsible for the creation of 570. A full list is available on request. For ease of reading, each instance has been color-coded to identify the party responsible for the event, with red indicating action initiated by the Coca-Cola Company's Department of Customer Satisfaction, and blue indicating an attempt initiated by the PepsiCo's Department of Esoteric Affluence. Oh dear. And I see what you've started playing, Lydia. Best of luck. So, Pepsi. Summary. On 23/04/1985, a PepsiCo transmutation ritual resulted in the sudden chemical reconstitution of all Coca-Cola products. This change was concealed by the Coca-Cola Company as part of a formula change, unofficially termed New Coke. Over the next 79 days, Coca-Cola alchemists were able to reverse the effects of the ritual using an appropriate counterspell. What the fuck? Shoot everything that moves. If expecting its allies or the wind, wasting ammo is after all wasteful. Sarcasm I'm paying. See, I know that as if it moves, shoot it. If it doesn't, shoot it until it moves. Coca-Cola. On 2/07/1990, practicing thaumaturgists aided by the Coca-Cola Company influenced regional weather patterns throughout rural Mexico to force an extra-normal event in which Coca-Cola rained down on certain municipalities for a period of 14 days. Pepsi. On 13/9/1992, PepsiCo's Development of Esoteric Affluence published a series of parascientific research papers entitled Thaumaturgical Affluence and Business Management, a Comprehensive Analysis. The report laid out the specifications of an eigenweapon designed to implant a mimetic agent of indeterminate pervasiveness. Footnote: based on recovered data, it is believed that if activated, the mimetic construct would closely match a Type 8 pluripotent mimetic construct by Foundation guidelines. Throughout the entirety of the noosphere, Foundation agents were dispatched to retrieve the data, resulting in the neutralization of the threat. Okay. Coke. On 24/03/1995, Foundation agents embedded in PepsiCo's Naval Command reported that approximately Why does PepsiCo have a navy? Approximately three-quarters of the company's naval fleet had been decimated overnight by a construction explosion of unknown origin. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that an unidentified organism had been lured towards the fleet by Coca-Cola thermoturges. Navy, yeah! Why the fuck does Pepsi have a navy? Hello, Cape. You wanna come up, buddy? Hey, come up. You wanna come and be read bedtime stories? Come, Cape. You know, Pepsi was one of the largest military powers at one point, right? Really? Russia loved Pepsi but didn't have the money, so he gave Pepsi a bunch of ships. What the fuck? Why do you smell weird? KBS, why do you always smell of something weird? A few weeks ago it was citrus. This was an actual event. What the fuck? Really? That's bananas. That really is. Okay, Pepsi. On 05/04/1997, the Japanese branch of the Foundation intercepted an Anderson robotics shipment of 500 combat-modified androids resembling an anthropomorphized can of Pepsi Cola. Although no additional shipments between Anderson Robotics and PepsiCo were intercepted, reports for a 2.5-meter-tall humanoid android would be retrieved in the following months. What the fuck? On 29/05/1998, this one's Coke. It was discovered that the text of SCP-140 had been altered, with an additional 15 pages detailing the David Empire's tradition of consuming Coca-Cola products. An investigation into the method by which pages were added revealed a copy of SCP-140 in the hands of the Coca-Cola Company. Recovery efforts were abandoned due to the concentration of demonic entities guarding the plant. Wow. In exchange for Pepsi soft drink, the Soviets offered them a veritable navy. Pepsi agreed to the deal, taking possession of a Soviet cruiser, a frigate, a destroyer, 17 submarines, and a handful of oil tankers, instantly making the drink distributor the owner of the 6th largest navy on the planet. What the fuck? Pepsi-sponsored Ed-controlled ride was bad enough. Jesus Christ. Let's jump over here. 99826-J, okay. This one's Coke. On 29/05/1998, it was discovered that the text of... Oh no, that one's already been done. So this one's Pepsi. On 07/06/1999, PepsiCo's Department of Esoteric Affluence successfully altered the gravitational pull of Earth for a period of 48 hours, in accordance with the company's theoretical Pepsi gravitational field. This resulted in the total deconceptualization of all beverages other than those sold by PepsiCo, which necessitated Foundation intervention as the concept of water was no longer properly understood. No water, only Pepsi. Pepsi could have ended the Cola Wars right there and there. Yeah, just send the Navy to Coca-Cola. At least they had no battleships. At least they had no friggin' battleships. This one's Cola. On the 10/06/1999, a ritual was conducted from Coca-Cola's headquarters, which resulted in the development of lactose intolerance in all PepsiCo employees simultaneously. Although the motivation behind the event was poorly understood at the time, it is believed that a significant number of PepsiCo's employees were greatly affected by the development of the condition, most commonly for religious reasons. What the fuck? This one's Pepsi. On 21/06/1999, Foundation assets embedded in Coca-Cola's Arctic forests went dark. An unmanned exploration to the territory revealed a series of directed thermoturgical charges had encased the entirety of the compound in a block of ice. The act was attributed to the very many ships in PepsiCo's naval fleet. An estimated 15,000 casualties were recorded. What the fuck? I can't say it. And the final one of the summary is a Cola one. On 25/06/1999, a dossier addressed to the Foundation was left outside a Foundation-operated front company, inside a crate of Pepsi Cola. Said envelope contained evidence linking the Coca-Cola company to the cult known as the Children of the Scarlet King. The dossier contained multiple pieces of evidence of thaumaturgical interference throughout the plant, with photographs of machinery leaking blood, a persistent howling sound throughout the plant, and files for 7 employees that had gone missing in the past month. Over the following week, several PepsiCo bottling plants would disappear entirely, resulting in an estimated 30,000 casualties. The fuck? Sounds like managed to incorporate Megacorp territory here a bit, yeah. Okay, okay, that's another bunch of SCPs. That probably will see us through to the end, so I'm going to pause the video quests again. And any that don't get read will get refunded, then read for free on the next one. Addendum 570-2, initial discovery of 570. On 04/07/1999, the mass thaumaturgical residue left behind by both companies reached its breaking point, leading to the biggest wave of thaumaturgical backlash recorded since the 7th Occult War. The incident plunged the anomalous ecosystems into disarray, with an estimated 7,000 anomalous beings being directly influenced by the SCP-570's effects. The creation of the Great Pepsi Seal and the destruction of one of the redacted chains would stabilize the anomaly. Chains? Oh, links to 2317. At the behest of the Global Occult Coalition, the Foundation agreed to act as an intermediary for both companies to hold peace talks in the aftermath. If someone asks me why it's against Megacorp, I will point them at this. Makes a note to never visit either Coke or Pepsi plants that are close to me. Attending parties: Foundation researcher Anna Silva, PepsiCo Grand Thaumaturge Iblis Berenth, Coca-Cola customer satisfaction representative Razdathim Salos. Researcher Silva, begin log. Researcher Silva enters the conference room. Sitting on the opposite side of the room are representatives Salos and Bereth. Silva, thank you both for agreeing to meet with. The room is briefly illuminated by a series of flashes from an integrated DOE reality stabilizer, signifying a spike in anomalous activity throughout the room. The machinery emits a series of sounds that neutralize the thaumaturgical activity pulsing around it. Salos, ow, fuck, what the hell was that? Silva, please refrain from trying to cast a spell on Ms. Berenth. I didn't cast it, it was her. Salos points at the ground thaumaturge Berenth, who is whispering something under her breath. After a brief pause, she stops. Seems magic refuses to work here. Very well. I didn't expect you guys were able to run this deep. You work for soda companies. Next person, or entity I guess, sorry Miss Salos, to try and kill the other will be formally contained. Understood? Grand Thaumaturge Berenth and Representative Salos begrudgingly express agreement with the terms. Right, so the reason we brought you here today is that we believe you. That's you as in you and your employees have successfully caused a frankly ridiculous amount of thaumaturgical energy to collapse into a single point. The divination department at the plant has foreseen this. We're prepared for such an eventuality. Right. This is about the flavour thing? Could have sent this to the guys at production. They're going nuts over it. Wait, so you both know about the fact that your beverages now taste exactly the same? Any thaumaturge worth their salt would have seen it coming. The amount of sustained energy directed at both beverages would have done something like this sooner or later. Notice went out a few weeks back. Bought a Coke while visiting some family in Vegas. We can only drink Coke there, you know. Something about a Kiva radiation. Don't know. Didn't really pay attention to the guys at production. And noticed the flavour had gone to shit. So both companies are already aware of this? That's what? Then why did you let it happen? Why not stop while you're ahead? The day of ascension draws near. All will revel in the glory of the refreshing can of Pepsi Cola. Well, we don't really care. Can't let the nut jobs get ahead of us. But can't you see that you're advertising the exact same product now? Irrelevant. Pepsi reigns supreme in the realm of beverages. What, you think this has ever been about the actual soda? It's about sending a message. The message being? Oh, fine, you call my bluff. We really just fucking hate each other's guts. Agreed. Sure, Bereth, act all wise and solemn, not like the guys at the plant saw you at that horrid milk fiasco you tried to pull in 91. Bastard. Grand Thaumaturge Bereth stands up and leaves the room. As she exceeds the range of the radiative stabilizer, she disappears in a flash of light. Ah, pretty productive meeting. You didn't tell us shit we didn't already know, and I pissed off a wizard. I'll be leaving now. Fine. You know what? Fine. End log. The fuck was any of that, Nia? What the hell? Back to traditional Nia levels of fuckery. So the clock will be past midnight. Yeah. Little did we know, Ronaldo taking the Coca-Cola bottle from his desk was actually a complete, complex and very powerful arcane ritual sponsored by Pepsi to bring down the Coca-Cola's empire. Excuse me. So this next one comes from E. 312. Let's hope it's suitable for stream 1. Atmospheric jellyfish. What the fuck, atmospheric jellyfish? It's very short. Item number SCP-312, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-312 is kept in a large lifeform containment chamber at Site 19. As long as it does not require feeding, only researchers are permitted access to the chamber. All personnel entering the chamber are provided with wide-brimmed hats and advised not to look directly upward. What the fuck? Description. 312 is an organism composed of very thin tissue layers and filled with atmospheric gases at a slightly higher temperature than the surrounding air. It typically floats approximately redacted meters above the ground, although it will vary this in order to maintain its position relative to prey. 312 is capable of creating a small lenticular cloud around itself by releasing water vapor. There's Capus's paw. Beans. I've got your beans. By releasing water vapor and manipulating air currents, and uses this as camouflage. Within the cloud, 312 is visually similar to a large jellyfish, with a cap approximately 2.5 meters in diameter, from which trails a tube of tendrils approximately 25 meters in length. 312 preys upon large mammals and shows a strong preference for humans. While hunting, 312 will stalk its prey from a position directly above, manipulating air currents around it to maintain its relative position. Prey can escape by moving at a speed upwards of 30 km per hour, or by entering a large crowd, which seems to confuse 312 and cause it to switch targets. 312's core is filled with a large cluster of eyes. The majority of the eyes are human in appearance, except for one large central orb. The other eyes are connected to the central one by thin tendrils. This core can be observed through the tubes of tentacles by prey looking directly upwards, or by a recording device above the targeted prey. So long as this core remains unobserved, 312 will remain docile, and seems capable of surviving indefinitely without feeding, although feedings do increase its mass and movement speed as well as the number redacted. However, if a prey animal makes eye contact with the core, 312 will become active, generating a narrow controlled vortex with the appearance of a long tube of cloud connecting the lenticular cloud above with the ground. The prey is pulled into 312's tentacle mass by a strong updraft of the vortex. Paralyzed by a venomous sting by the tentacles, then digested. Within about a week, partially digested remains of the prey will fall from the sky where 312 disappeared. After a successful hunt, 312 will drift aimlessly until another prey creature comes nearby. Based on incident reports, the Foundation believes there are at least 3 uncontained instances of 312 in the wild. Recovery efforts are difficult because 312 often follows a single person for months or years before the event is triggered. The fuck was any of that? Okay, next SCP is number 780. Seed bed, or seed bead. And next we'll go on to 2257. So proclaimed funniest SCP according to Google. Item number SCP-780. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. 780 must be kept in a locked steel box 10 cm by 10 cm by 10 cm with walls at least 1 cm thick. The box is to be kept on a 5-meter pedestal at the center of a 20-meter by 20-meter concrete room. Individuals wishing to approach 780 must submit to a full-body search and may not bring plants, living or artificial, images of plants, description of plants, or digital displays of any kind within 10 meters of 780, except as part of a pre-approved test protocol. Individuals with plant tattoos are likewise forbidden from approaching 780 except during testing. Description. 780 is a small bead, 1 centimeter in diameter, shaped like a round gem with numerous facets, and a hole in its center. It appears to be made of a clear amorphous substance. Studies suggest it has a structure similar to that of a polyvinyl chloride. but this does not account for its reaction to plants. While 780 does not melt at temperatures exceeding 3500 Kelvin, cooling it to below 24 Kelvin temporarily changes its structure into a crystalline form, allowing it to be damaged by blunt impacts. When a plant or representation of a plant, including artificial plants, photographs of plants, drawings and paintings of plants, particularly vivid textual description of plants, or any above appearing on a screen of any sort, is placed within 10 meters of SCP-780, it begins to levitate and will fly towards the plant. How 780 detects plants is unknown at this time. If restrained, 780 will become increasingly agitated until the plant is removed from its radius. If allowed to come into contact with the plant, hereafter the host plant, 780 will stick to it for a period of 5 seconds, at which time it will fall to the floor. Once it lays flat against the ground, it cannot be removed except as noted below. Within 10 minutes, a shoot will be seen growing from within a hole at the centre of 780. This will mature into a fully grown specimen of the host plant within 24 hours. This new plant is designated 780-1. Even if the host plant was not a living physical plant, 780-1 will be, though in all other traits, colour, height, general form, it will match the description of the host plant. 780-1 has the same requirements for sun and atmosphere as the host plant, but it does not have a root system, and therefore does not require water or any particular soil conditions. Despite lacking roots, 780-1 will not fall over regardless of imbalance or pressure applied. Attempts to dig up the ground 780-1 sits on results in data expunged. 780-1 is equally susceptible to damage as the host plant. Anything which would kill the host plant will also kill 780-1. Upon its death, it will rot unusually quickly and 780 may be retrieved. At maturity, each instant of 780-1 produces new copies of 780. In flowering plants, the copies are found at the base of each flower, usually replacing the ovary. In non-flowering plants, the copy replaces seeds, spores, or other such propagules. Each reproductive structure, flower, cone, spore, capsule, produces exactly one copy of 780. When 780-1 portrays a plant species that does not undergo sexual reproduction, a single new copy of 780 forms at the base of 780+-1. These new copies of 780 will break out of 780-1 and affix to the nearest plant not generated by 780, or remain inert if no such plant exists within their radius. Flowers or seeds removed from 780-1 before maturation contain smaller misshapen copies of 780 which do not react to plants in any way. Addendum 780A. 780 was recovered when flyovers of Atacama Desert reported an odd standard mangrove trees where existing water should have been insufficient for their survival. Initial response to the Chilean government included a botanist carrying quote, redacted, which included a picture of a rosebush on the cover. Upon approaching the site, multiple copies of 780 flew towards the book, and the researchers fled. When they returned a day later, many more rose bushes were growing at the site. Communication between the research team and their contacts was intercepted by Agent Redacted, who intervened on behalf of the Chilean government. Mobile Containment Task Force Redacted was dispatched, who used incendiary devices to incinerate all plants in the area. All instances of 780 were retrieved, and all but one has been destroyed to reduce the risk of further growth. Addendum 70B, see Experiment Log 708A. 780A. The following experiments were performed to evaluate the extent of 780's abilities. 780E1, host plant sunflower. Full-grown sunflower produced in 24 hours with one new copy of 780 within flower. 780-E2, photograph of sunflower used in experiment E1. Resulting flower was identical to the one produced in 780E1. 780E3, painting of sunflower used in experiment 780E1. Resulting flower was similar to the one produced in experiment 780E1, but slight differences, number of petals, shades of colour, showed to be a copy of the painting, not the original plant. 780-E4, painting of sunflower with only a single purple petal rather than many yellow ones. Resulting flower matched that of the painting. 780-E5, the word sunflower. Result, no response. 780-E6, a one-paragraph description of the sunflower. Resulting flower matched description in paragraph. 780-E7, a one-paragraph description of a bush which produces chocolate bars. Resulting bush shares physical appearance with description, but chocolate bars are in fact fruit, with a dark fleshy interior that, according to D-class testers, only has a passing resemblance to the taste of chocolate. Each fruit contains a copy of 780, indicating that these fruits would normally contain seed on their interior. 780-E8, a one-paragraph description of a bush which produces health bars which contain a week's worth of calories and nutrients in every bite. Resulting bush shares physical appearance with description, with the bars, again being fruits, contain copy of 780. Tests to verify that they are fairly nutritious, with a wide variety of vitamins and minerals, but only contain slightly more sustenance than an ordinary fruit or vegetable. Further research on exploiting 780 to provide variety in the site's redacted canteen on hold pending approval. If you can make fruits as healthy as Brussels sprouts but as tasty as strawberries, imagine the marketing possibilities. We just need to find a way to remove the copy of 780 embedded at the heart of each fruit. 780-E9, a one-paragraph description of data expunged. Result, data expunged. 780-E10, host 78 SCP-038. Resulting plant appeared identical to 038, but lacked its ability to reproduce items touched to its trunk. 780-E11, host SCP-143. Resulting tree identical in appearance with 143. Bark has the same hardness as 143, but pieces removed from 780-1 lose its property and retain only the hardness of a typical of a Prunus exiedonis tree. Petals have no unusual properties. 780-E12, host plants SCP-417. While exhibiting the outward appearance of 417, fruit only contains more copies of 780. Further testing on plant-line SCP objects is suspended as their unique abilities do not appear to be reproduced. Okay. That was... okay. That was the thing. Pokey, hello and welcome. Let. We start off with 5242 SCP-INTEGER, and we thought it was just, your mind. Okay, 2253, we're going to series 3 of this one. 2253. The Alcoholic Republic. Oh, no, it's 2257, not 2253. 2257 is House God. Oh, no. Oh, when they have gods as SCPs, it's rarely good. The Poke biography, yes. It pretty much was the Poke biography. Okay, item number SCP-2257, object class safe. Special containment procedures. 2257 currently belongs to the Foundation under a constructed identity. In order to maintain a perimeter, a fence is installed around most of the property and a security team is posted in the residence directly across the road. The lawn is to be mowed once a week and the light set on a timer to turn on and off at appropriate times to give the appearance of occupancy. Shintoism has a few house gods. Description: 2257 is a one-bedroom, two-bathroom home in a suburban development located in redacted Wisconsin. The exterior presents no enormous properties. The interior is normally furnished for a suburban home. Approximately 48 hours after entering 2257 by any means, all objects and entities become an instance of 2257-1. 2257-1 refers to anomalous items, most commonly furniture or household appliances, found within 2257. 2257-1-1 and instances are sapiens and capable of speech in English. Subjects converted into 2257-1 instances do not physically change, but gain individualized personalities, voices, and consciousnesses separate from other instances, although interviews imply telepathic communication between instances. What? All instances of 2257-1 claim to be the sole deity of their respective physical representation. For example, 2257-1-23 is a tan suede armchair that claims to be the god of chairs. What the fuck? It's fewer than Kami and Shintoism, I think. Yeah, I can believe that. Good God, why do I have so many messages? I'm not sure what I just read in that DM. There's more yokai than Kami. Fair. Other than these properties, instances of 2257-1 have shown no other anomalous qualities. At the time of writing, however, testing has consisted only of inanimate objects. It has been implied, however, by instances of 2257-1 that the living entity could become another instance of 2257-1. See addendum. The instances of 2257-1 maintain a set of order throughout 2257, often rearranging themselves when shifted to retain their state of balance. For example, when the cutlery normally set in the dining room is rearranged, instances of 2257-1 become agitated until they're able to return to the formal cutlery arrangement by fine dining standards in the United States of America. Oh, the silent fork must be on the far left, the dinner fork beside it, etc. It's also the Doma boy from Slavic mythology. The ugliest orphop were usually nice as long as you remember to leave out some food for them and some hot water for them to bathe. Weird. All instances of 2257-1 are capable of rearranging themselves when left unobserved. When objects and entities that are not currently an instance of 22571 enter the premises, instances will try to deter the subject from remaining within the home until the 48-hour threshold is passed. At which point, in turn, the instance is welcome, so long as another occurrence of the same object does not already exist. Instances of 2257-1 will rearrange themselves in ineffectual attempts to menace or otherwise deter objects that are deemed useless or extraneous. Thank you, Twitch. Interview with 2257-1. Interviewed 2257-1-23, God of Chairs. For instance, when you remember the defiled ancestor of House Fang. Okay, yeah, fair, that makes sense. Interviewer, Dr. B. Forward, note that Dr. B sat in the chair for the duration of the interview. Begin log. You believe to be, as you put it, the God of Chairs. On what basis do you make the statement? I am the Lord of Upholstery, the King of Comfort and Master of Laziness. I am the superior seat, and he names me the God, the Chair God, unlike the damnable gobshite in the room adjacent. Gobshite. God of... Oh, God. 2257-1-5, God of Toilets. I heard that, you deluded sinner. I am the toilet god, and I bless your leavings. E? Our Grand Protector, House God. He is our home and our one true king, and I am his most loyal of seating arrangements. Not you, you gluttonous behemoth. Human, come hither and experience the most incredulous of excretory experiences. And why is it called the God of Houses? It is the finest of houses across the land, and simply radiates his divine right. We are but humble servants. Right. Interviewer attempts to rise from the chair. No, you must not leave. Bask in the glorious comfort of Chair God. Bask. Yes, come to me. Experience the holy apparent of his toilet god. End log. Closing statements. Interviewer rose from 2257-1-23 without incident. 2257-1-23 continues on a rant to attempt to draw interviewer back to it, but fails to convince Dr. B. The chair is reported to be comfortable, but not extraordinarily so, defined when off-site as an average armchair. God. So they have any great-grandpa around there. Tsukumogami, anything that can be considered a tool can become a yokai. True. TOIDE-SAAAAAAAN, oh my god. Oh my god, now I imagine Majima saying that. TOIDE-SAAAAAAAN! Oh god, in fact, oh, Majima. No, Kiryu is the chair god, and Majima is the toilet god, because the weird shit that Majima always does. So House gives things sentience and ego the size of the planet, pretty much. And it's gonna, that's gonna have to be. That's the stream title for this. TOIDE-SAAAAAAAN! Oh no. Interviewed 22571-1-54, God of Microwaves, and 2257-1-55, the God of Ovens. Interviewer Dr. B. Forward. Per request, 1 frozen pizza was placed in each of them. Excuse me. What's the sort of argument constantly transpiring here? She seems to believe that her delicacies are far superior to mine. Time wins you no contest. He seems to think this is a race. His nourishment is soggy and subpar at its finest. When does this argument begin? This is a tumultuous battle that has existed since the beginning of time itself. The victor determines the fate of all the lords of cooking appliances. Have either of you ever defeated the other in any way? He'd like to claim that it's suddenly interrupted by loud screeching originating by 5-4. I've bested you again! My feast is prepared! A feast fit for rodents. I think this will be all for today. No, you must feast upon the glory I've brought to you. You must declare me the victor of this eternal battle. End log. Closing statement. The microwave continues to shout loudly for Dr. B as he exits the kitchen. Then begins accusing the oven of deterring him with the old ways. Microwave. Beep, beep, hot bowl of cold food is ready, asshole. Very good stuff. I'm almost certain it's made better by me doing the voices. Interviewed. 2257-1-136, a level 3 Foundation researcher badge. What the fuck? Interviewer Dr. B. Forward. 2257-1-136 was originally planted in hopes of creating a sapient entity loyal to the Foundation in order to ascertain more information on 2257. The ID rests on 2257-1-3 God of Coffee Tables while Dr. B stands. What can you tell us about 2257? You are not who I'm looking for! Excuse me? Sorry, 05's ears only! We can't bring you an 05, but I can relay a message. Nope, can't let you do that. The information would kill you. Really now. Yep, brain would melt on the spot. Boom, no more annoying researcher. You do realise what level of clearance you have, don't you? Hey, I can tell you some fun facts about the Foundation. Did you know that? ID is placed inside of interviewer's pocket, now being uncooperative. No, don't put me in the closet. No, that's... Yeah, we're not going anywhere with this. Closing statement. 2257-1-136 is placed back on the table and left there, resuming its previous silence while occasionally remarking about high-level secrets and an Alpha K-class ocean desalination scenario if not given access to the 05. Note, presence of an 05 member denied as of 3/11/2014. They are much more prudent users of it time for the 05 Council than conversing with a megalomaniac ID badge, let alone one surely unaware of much sensitive information given its level 3 clearance. 057. Addendum. The conversion of a living entity into an instance under 2257 was previously presumed impossible. However, on 2/25/2014, 2257-2 was created. 2257-2 is a former D-class, now referred to by other instances of 2257-1 as the Guardian, and is the result of a need to replace recording equipment, continually converting into instances of 2257-1. Conversation occurred unexpectedly after a normal 48-hour threshold. Let's probably have fun with this. Interviewed. SCP-2257-2. Interviewer Dr. B. Forward. 2257-2 is formerly D-Class designation 17350. Converted after a 48-hour stay within the premises. 2257-1-143 is former D-Class's left shoe. 2257-1-144 is former D-Class's right shoe. Who are you? The Guardian. What is your role here? I protect them. I keep them safe, and I am enlightened. What do you mean by enlightened? I understand now. The arguments they have. Their purpose. And what's that? It's subject interrupted by issues. Oi, you can't tell him that. He's one of them. Shut up, Lefty! Interview devolves into an argument between SCP-2257 and its articles of clothing. Right, we'll leave a dildo and then offer it as a Christmas Secret Santa. Oh, good God. A dildo that can sweet talk you before and afterwards. Oh, my God. Just that explosive thing. Shut up, Lefty. Right, this is going to be a long one. No, wait, don't shove me in there! Like a very bright thing to do. It does. Okay, so I'm going to make a small executive decision here. Because Jace wanted an SCP being 048, I'm going to do 048 now, just in case the experiment logs run on too long. Just on this one. 048. The cursed SCP number. Jace, what the fuck did you do? Item number SCP-084-048. Object class none. See description. Given a welcome, will you go, Jace? Special containment procedures. The designation SCP-048 is to be retired from the SCP catalogue. No future SCPs are to be assigned this number. Description: 048 has long been considered the cursed SCP number by SCP staff. Any items given this designation tend to be destroyed, decommissioned, stolen, or otherwise lost to the Foundation, usually through no fault of any individual person. In addition, personnel assigned to 048 in its various incarnations have had a 50% higher rate of turnover due to death, dismemberment, and disciplinary action. Whether or not the number 048 actually has any supernatural qualities is unknown, but given the superstition around this number, the designation has been removed from the catalogue in order to help maintain employee morale. Addendum 1. This is ridiculous. I'll prove to you superstitious bastards that you're all just being pussies. The restrictions on 048 is now removed and assigned to data expunged, Dr. Cortez. Addendum 2. 084 data expunged was accidentally thrown to the trash this morning and lost. In an unrelated incident, Dr. Cortez's arms were accidentally traumatically amputated in a horrific lunchroom blender accident. 048 closed by 0511. Addendum 3. 048 has been once again removed from the archives after it became highly apparent that no such vampire boat had ever existed, much less come under Foundation control. It's currently believed that this error occurred when a low-level researcher attempted to save his awesome story idea to his hard drive and instead overwrote the blank slot reserved for 048. Said researcher has been removed from any and all archival duties for the time being. 0511. What the fuck? What the fuck, Jace? I'm sorry, but Jace is essentially just broken SCP. Yeah, but the fuck did I miss this? Ah. I don't know. But it has been read. This has been a day of really short ones, apparently, because I've still got just under an hour left. I've only got 3 left to do. Okay, so we do that. Next one is 99826-J. Jace was taking a nap. Of course Jace napped through his own SCP entry. Of course he did. He's such a bean. He's such a wonderful bean. Right, experiment log. Let's find... Okay. I was sleepy. You missed it. You missed it so much. Oh my god, there's a... I can write the timer. I'll write the timer and watch the vid. I'm gonna say, Thyros, I'm not gonna read this. It's huge. Part 1 on its own is longer than the list of things Dr. Bright is not allowed to do. I'm not reading this. This will take far too long. You can have the points back. I'm not reading that on stream. I'm sorry, but my good god, that is just way too long. Zoom that one next, and the one after it is 475. So that 914 appears in the game, so it's very well known, and most likely it's had several editions over time. Oh yeah. Got 100 per page. It is. It is. Put on the to-do list. I'm not touching your to-do list with SCP stuff, Jace. Although, Jace, thinking about it, you know, mentioning the to-do list, you have the YouTube short due in 3 days. You might want to work on it. We're talking big, huge, or infallibly huge. Probably huge. We're talking like, yo, the scroll bar at the side of the screen was the smallest it can get. That's how big it was. Jace, work on the shirt. The shirt? What the fuck is this? I actually do not know what this is. I'll have to go back and... Oh, for fuck's sake. So this one is the mind screw. It's already going to be a mindfuck, I can tell. It's definitely huge. Yep. Item number SCP-99826-J. So just for premise of anyone who doesn't know the SCPs, this is a joke one. This is not within SCP canon. This is one that is, you know, set wholly aside and is a joke. My laptop is struggling with Vampire Survivors. I struggle with Vampire Survivors. I struggle to want to even look at it. Object class Thaumiel. Special containment procedures. 99826-J is to be contained in a locker inside the office of Dr. Seijin Cho, as she is the only person who is aware of the object's inner workings. Mind skirts lies in room world whose only purpose is to cause pain. Oh no. Description. 99826-J is an anomalous device created on January the 3rd, 2003 by Dr. Sojin Cho. It's capable of various functions, most of them producing a direct recreation of various mimetic, metaphysical, conceptual, ontokinetic, temporal, and parapsychological anomalous phenomena currently known to Foundation. As some of them are directly useful for the containment and/or research of many high-priority SCP objects, 99826-J is classified as Thaumiel. 99826 is in the shape of a wide metal screw pointing upwards, with a height of 0.65 meters. Inscribed on the bottom of the device is a stylized description of a human brain. It features a terminal screen, a miniature keyboard, and multiple buttons and switches labeled in an unknown language, English, using a convoluted writing system created by Dr. Cho. Addendum 99826-J-1. The following are transcripts of some recorded instances in which the capabilities of 99826 were demonstrated by Dr. Cho. Log 2003-0104. Begin log. Dr. Cho is seen in a room facing researcher Lin. 99826-J is placed on a table between them. Was that a camera? Yep, this is being recorded. It's the first demonstration outside a lab setting, so I'd need to know what would happen if something went wrong. Right. So you're saying that this machine is going to make you speak in the color purple. Is it thaumaturgical? Yes, and yes. The machine specifically is powered by miniature type Yggdrasil Umbro spectral class cricothetic entities. Tiny ghost hamsters. Don't call it that. Dr. Cho types a string of commands on a miniature keyboard and places a hand on the side of 99826-J. And now I should be speaking in purple. Wow, that's cool. It's like I'm hearing something I shouldn't be able to. Oh yeah, I know that feeling. I call it audio dissonance. The meaning of this is unknown. It's under investigation by a team of researchers who did not bother to read the rest of this transcript. Because I don't know, SCP canon is very finicky, so these may be canon. Yeah, true. Wait, you can't do that. Do what? It's supposed to be a feeling you can't describe in words. You can't just make up a word for it. Oh, right. Should I remove that word from existence then? You can do that? So Joe takes her hands off of 99826-J. Yep, watch. Dr. Cho types on the miniature keyboard and rotates the device to a button panel. A small distressed squeaky sound emanates from within 99826-J. What flavour of removal do you want? Physical removal of a word or just disassociation of meaning? Also, should I make it retroactive? I don't really want to cause a lot of trouble for the people over at Metaphysics, so I'll be choosing the dissociation option and making it non-retroactive, please. Alright then, one non-retroactive linguistic removal coming right up. Dr. Cho presses the button on the panel. Silence for 3 seconds. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic. What did you expect? Like, a bunch of researchers freaking out? Or at least something a lot more dramatic than to match the scale of the implications, you know? A series of frantic footsteps and muffled exclamations could be heard from the distance, presumably from the Metaphysics department. Well, there you go. I think I might have to report this to the site director. Researcher Lin sighs. Dr. Cho turns off the camera. End log. Log 2003-0108. Begin log. Dr. Cho walks into the cell of person of interest 211. Footnote 2. A person of interest in Foundation custody due to their association with SCP redacted. An object Dr. Cho was assigned to, POI-211, is non-anomalous. Cho. Good morning, POI-211. Good morning. How have things been since the last checkup? Any issues you want to talk about? Well, apart from the fact that I'm indefinitely stuck here against my will, no, not much. I've just been spending my time reading the books you gave me. That's great. Dr. Cho takes out a small plastic box and places it on the table. Today, I'm going to ask you to do a little test for me. Nothing dangerous. It's just about checking if the effects of SCP redacted had any effect on your ability to grasp abstract concepts. PI-211 nods. Dr. Cho opens the plastic box to reveal a physical manifestation of the abstract concept of happiness, created by 99826-J some minutes prior. What do you see inside this box? Wait, how's this even possible? Could you pick it up? PI-211 reaches inside the box and takes out the happiness. This feels strange, unreal even. Feels like I'm holding something I'm not supposed to, something not meant to exist. What's the meaning of life? Are we ultimately meaningless in the grand? Right, that's enough of that. Now can you hold it firmly in your hand? Sure. Oh my god! POI-211 grasps the abstract concept of happiness. Test concluded. God. What the fuck? Note, it has been determined that examinations such as the one presented above are significantly easier and less time-consuming when 99826-J is used, compared to usual methods. As such, 99826-J has been authorized to be utilized in this way. Log. Data lost. Begin log. Dr. Cho is sitting on a chair in an empty room. She's facing the camera. The video appears to be captured by a camera attached to 99826-J. You know, I've never actually studied passive physics, but ever since I first learned about it, the concept always seemed so intriguing to me. Dr. Cho starts walking towards the camera. So, for the final mind screw, I will be acknowledging your existence, authors and readers. Dr. Cho crouches down and stares into the camera 3 minutes, smiling mischievously. I know you're there. Dr. Cho stares at the camera for 2 more minutes. Ow! Leg cramp. End log. What the fuck? What the fuck even was any of that? I don't feel very welcome. 475. Soap of a Pope. Oh, I expected. Honestly, me neither. I actually honestly didn't expect that. I also think that I'm going to be making this the last one because I have read quite a lot and my throat is starting to hurt, and we are approaching the 2.5 hour mark anyway, so I think it's going to be a shorter one, but it makes up for the fact that the past two, well, a couple of the past 3 ones have been very short, and this has been incredibly long in terms of SCPs read. Thank you for the hydration reminder, Whitgren. It's a speedrunning stream. It is. Gotta go fast. Right, accept that, accept that. Oh god, Nia, this is another one of yours, isn't it? I instantly am filled with distrust. More speed reading, yep. Slope of the Pope. Oh, here we go. Item number SCP-475. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. 475 is to be kept in a watertight containment locker in storage unit 45C of Site 36. All testing with power religions require permission from the site director. To prevent religious groups of interest from learning of the object's existence, knowledge of 475 is to follow Level 3 info security protocol. Excuse me, what the fuck? Description. 475 is an ornate sculpture of soap depicting an unidentified pope. Inscribed at the base of the statue is the phrase, "Cleanliness is next to godliness." God damn it, Nia. I'm not even 2 paragraphs in. What the fuck? Analysis reveals the object to be composed of long-chain saturated fatty acids, CH3 minus CH2 minus N, totaling 89.7% of its mass, with the remaining 10.3% corresponding to redacted, attached to it as the hydrophilic head. It is believed that the redacted gives 475 its unique properties, but all attempts to recreate the compound have failed. When 475 comes into contact with water and is applied to the skin, all accumulated foreign contaminants are removed. Tested materials include dead skin cells, perspiration, bodily parasites, mold, dirt, and detergents. Post-test examinations have shown that 100% of foreign contaminants are removed, a statistical anomaly. This process only occurs when used on human skin. All attempts so far to use 475 on non-humans have failed to produce its anomalous effects. Testing on anomalous animals such as 1845 or 2050 is pending approval. Unlike typical soaps, the usage of 475 does not damage it. 475's secondary anomalous effects manifest when used on a professing member of an organized religion. Subjects universally report greater mental clarity, show greater adherence to church doctrine, and rate at least 15 centiakiva more on the Brandon Spencer piety scale. These effects increase in intensity the longer subject uses the object, culminating in local reality changes signified by all bodies of water within a 5-meter radius turning into an equivalent liquid that is considered holy in the subject's religion. Examples of these changes can be found in test log 475. Addendum. 475 came under Foundation containment when insubordinate elements of the Horizon Initiative relinquished control of it. These elements cited a desire to maintain unity and prevent infighting as to why the object could not be kept. 475 was allegedly recovered from the residence of the Catholic cardinal, redacted, who was found deceased from injuries consistent with upside-down crucifixion, which was the cause of death of St. Peter, the first pope, according to Catholic tradition. The following materials were also provided. Access memoirs of Black, credentials verified. I write this document to preserve the personal revelation invested in me. Over these past years, I have grappled with my faith. Having committed to it to paper, the idea seems absurd. I, a leader of the faith, I, whose vote has determined the successor of Peter, I, who has undeniable proof of God's glory, the initiative, for all its missteps and blasphemy, has provided undeniable proof of God's glory. Proof that has to be withheld from the world due to inscrutable agreements with occult forces, who do not have salvation in mind. Despite this undeniable proof, I wrestled with fears that God is not almighty. How can a God so glorious and almighty stand by as false idols exert their forces over man? By the grace of God, my fears have been quelled. The night before, I beheld an apparition of Mary. To try to capture the glory of it would be futile, but it is an experience too magnificent to withhold. We were out at sea. Below the waves, I could see the church penitent, awaiting purification. Further below that, deep beneath, there was creation. All around us were the gilded statues of saints, each linked to a church far below us. The Virgin Mother herself was resplendent, situated atop a pedestal, the pedestal carried by a many-winged creature of fire. In her right arm she held the Saviour, in her left a block of marble. She confided in me, told me of my purpose. Encased in the marble were the keys of heaven, the church's magisterium itself, the authority to commune with the saints. I was to take it, free the keys, and cleanse the church militant. Then all will be made clear. When I woke up, there was a block of soap on my nightstand. Queer, but I do not question the machinations of God. Every day since that night has been hazy. I have worked with a fervour to accomplish this mission. Even to this moment I have my doubts, but I am human. It is in my nature to doubt. If there is one thing I can be certain of, it is that I am a cog in God's plan. Addendum 475 approved for extended testing with para-religions. Test log 475, level 3 clearance required. Credentials verified. Note, due to the scarcity of para-religion and adherence under Foundation control, SCP Redacted has been approved to create suitable test subjects. Cocktor, he didn't say cock. No, not a cock. As much as you might want a cock, I'm not talking about one. Or, you know, two when EE comes into effect. I'm a cock in God's plan. I'm here to fuck everything. Also not wrong. Test subject religion. Roman Catholicism. Duration 3 minutes. Result. Water transmuted into a mixture of olive oil and balsam, consistent with the chrism oil employed in various Catholic rituals. Stigmata manifested in subject's hands. Note, subject was heard reciting Confiteor as anomalous effects took place. The stigmata healed over the course of the next 3 days. Test subject's religion. Roman Catholicism. Sedevacantist. Duration 5 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into a mixture of olive oil and balsam, consistent with chrism oil employed in various Catholic rituals. No overt anomalous effects observed. Notes. Post-test interviews indicate the subject accepted the current Pope as rightful Pontifex Maximus. Subject's religion. Pentecostal. Duration 11 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into pasteurized grape juice. Subject began exhibiting glossolalia. Subject displayed xenoglossy in the post-test interview. Note, subject made the following requests: access to Site-36's sick bay, access to any demonic entities housed on site, and a pet snake. Request denied. Test subject's religion. Hasidic Judaism. Duration 60 minutes. Results. Testing was aborted after failure to produce anomalous results. Subject vehemently denied any change in behaviour or mindset. Further testing warranted. Subject religion. Broken church. Duration 13 minutes. Result. Water transmuted into machine oil. Subject began manifesting symptoms of 217 infection. Note. Subject was placed under quarantine. Within 48 hours, the 217 infection present in its system had been rendered inert. Subject transferred to Site 234 for further study. Test subject's religion. Cogwork Orthodox. Duration 14 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into machine oil. Subject proceeded to transform into metallic ovoid object bearing numerous markings on the surface. Notes. Resultant of object planification as an instance of SCP-1564. Test subject's religion. Maxwellism. Duration 15 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into thermal adhesive. Testing terminated as subject began complaining about a splitting headache. Analysis indicates that part of subject's brain had been replaced with cybernetics inconsistent with standard Maxwellian augments. Note, subject claims to have experienced a continuation of the signal, a hallucinatory vision or Maxwellist experience after undergoing implantation of the first augments. In this vision, data expunged. Subject religion. Neo-Sarkism. Duration 30 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into blood. Subject began morphing into an instance of SK biotype redacted. Testing suspended and subject sedated. Upon resumption, subject calcified into a roughly ellipsoidal object and began emitting thermal radiation in the microwave range. Notes. Further testing with Neo-Sarkic cults suspended in order to prevent apotheos events. Subject currently in secondary storage at Site 10. Test subject religion. Children of the Scarlet King. Duration 45 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into blood. Subject underwent a series of transformations, turning into progressively more advanced in the Davite caste system variants of the DV biotype. Transformations culminated with the subject becoming a colossal squid and expiring. Notes. Genetic testing indicates that the blood is from the common sperm whale. Sperm. Test subject religion. Pithism. Duration 25 minutes. Results. Water transmuted into 100 subcertins of the subphylum Asterozosa. Subject melted into candle wax. Notes. Suspected connections to SCP-1523. Test subject's religion, Church of the Second Hytoth. Duration 30 minutes. Results, water transmuted into blood. Subject's forehead developed pigmentation in the shape of a 7-pointed star. Subject displays previously unknown knowledge of Hythothian rituals and language of Orthothian. Notes, analysis indicated that the blood is from the common 7-armed octopus. Test subject religion, Children of the Torch. Duration 17 minutes. Results, water transmuted into an aqueous flame, similar to those created by SCP-2814. Subject then melted into a waxy substance, yet remained motile and cognizant. Okay. Note, subject expired after 24 hours, remained stored on Site 23. And the final test, test subject religion, Australian Church of Australia. Duration, 1 minute. Results, data expunged. Note, further testing with the Australian Church of Australia requires unanimous approval from the O5 Council. Research into preventing AU Class End of the World scenarios deemed a Class 9 priority. Oh, sorry, Class 11. Apparently you can't trust the Australian Church. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? So yeah, that's where I'm going to be leaving things today. Fucking hell, Australia, I know, right? Jesus. They just turned everything to Australia. I think that's actually what they did. Ooh. When Down Under rises. Oh my god. You've heard of When Dawn Breaks, now here's When Down Under rises. But yeah, that's where I'm really ending things today. Thank you all very much for all of your for all coming along. It's the second Great EU War. Love it. Thank you also for all of your contributions and all your support in whatever way you choose and show. It's all greatly appreciated. Special shout outs go to Lydia for the tier 1 resub at 24 months. Thank you very much for that. 2 years. Thank you very much to Wigram for the £100 donation. Ridiculously generous of you. Thank you very, very much. And thank you also to Lydia for the £20 donation. Thank you very much. Incredibly generous of both of you. You are both insane. What the fuck? All good ones and no long pokey ones. No, this is true. The first one was a pokey one, but it was not one of the long ones. Thank you to both DJ and Regrub for the contributions to the Drunk Stream Challenge. Emus are coming. The emus are coming! Ah! I don't think anyone's else has gone live at the moment. Let's see. Nope, we have no live things. Oh, Jesus! That. So, yeah, I'm going to be heading off. I will put the list of red SCPs into the Discord. I will also re-put the announcement that was said at the beginning of the stream there. Yeah. Next stream for me is going to be tonight. I will agree to the insanity for what it is, but that's a differing point of view in spelling. True. Yeah, next stream for me is going to be tonight at 1 AM GMT, which is 8 PM EST, where we're going to go back to Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song and most likely finishing it. After that, the next one is going to be on Thursday at 11:30 AM EST, which is 4:30 PM GMT. Will be RPG Thursday, continuing with Wasteland 3. After that, then will be at 1 AM GMT Thursday night, which is 8 PM EST, and that is going to be more of Man of Medan. So yeah. Until then, though, thank you all very much for coming along, for your support. It's greatly appreciated. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, a good evening, a good night, a good morning, or a good afternoon. Whatever time is for you. Until later, though, stay safe, stay amazing, and see you later. Bye!